Let me be clear. If you or someone you know is a first responder that was looking to buy a home, I'm here today to talk about some special programs that apply to them. There are really a few powerful programs at the local, state, and national level designed specifically for first responders who fight for the American dream every single day to get into homes. Before I get into today's topic, let me reintroduce myself. Hi, my name is Matthew Ayala. I'm a U.S. Navy veteran and mortgage lender. I'm the founder of Rifles to Riches. My team and I specialize in helping veterans, first responders, doctors, and healthcare professionals live the American dream that they fought so hard for through real estate ownership, and through our associates to provide other financial services like tax planning and investment management. But first, I have an important announcement. While I strongly recommend you watch the video in its entirety so you understand how these programs match up to each other, if you're in a hurry, check the timestamps on this video if you want to jump right ahead to where I talk about specific programs such as a VA loan for all my fellow veterans out there, hometown heroes here in Florida, the down payment grant programs I offer such as Blue Line, Firehouse, White Coat, and Schoolhouse, and physician loans for doctors. In this video, I'll be talking specifically to first responders about how they can become a homeowner, even if they don't have tens of thousands of dollars sitting in a savings account. I'll cover exactly how buying a home works, what lenders are actually looking for, one of the most unique programs available called the Firehouse Home Loan, and Florida's Hometown Heroes program, which has helped thousands of essential workers purchase homes throughout the state. One of the biggest misconceptions about buying a home is that you need a 20% down payment to buy a home. That might have been true decades ago for many conventional loans, but simply, it isn't the case anymore. And it hasn't been the case for quite a while. Many first responders qualify for programs requiring far less money up front. Some require only 3% down, whereas others require 3.5% down. Some allow gift funds, some offer grants. There may even be assistance programs that cover most or all of the required down payment, and those are what I'm going to be talking about today. The first thing you should understand is that buying a home is really a five-step process. Step one is getting pre-approved with a lender like me. This is where I review your income, employment, credit history, debts, and available assets to determine what programs you're eligible for, what you're qualified for at a dollar amount, and what you're comfortable paying. Getting pre-approved is incredibly important because it tells you exactly how much house you can qualify for, and more importantly, how much you can comfortably afford before you even start shopping. I can pre-approve you for $1 million, but that doesn't mean you're comfortable with a $7,000 mortgage. A pre-approval also makes your offer much stronger when you find the right house because sellers and their agents know you've already been financially reviewed. When buying a home, the biggest obstacle that buyers face is a down payment. For many first responders, it's not qualifying for a mortgage that presents a difficulty. It's saving enough cash while also paying rent, buying groceries, maintaining your car, supporting a family, and dealing with everyday expenses. And that's exactly why specialized programs exist. And some of these programs are the Firehouse and Blue Line home loans. My Firehouse and Blue Line home loan that I offer were specifically designed to help first responders overcome one of the biggest barriers to home ownership, which is down payment, by providing a down payment grant. Unlike many assistance programs give you a second mortgage, this program provides a grant rather than another loan. That distinction is extremely important, and I'll tell you why. A second mortgage usually means another monthly payment or repayment requirement, and you'll have to repay it over a certain amount of time. This grant works differently. Eligible borrowers can receive a grant of up to 3 or 3.5% of the purchase price or appraised value to help cover the down payment. The program can be used with FHA and conventional loans and offer fixed interest rates on a 30-year mortgage, and your credit can be as low as 620 for conventional loans or 640 for FHA loans. It also does not require you to be a first-time homeowner. That's a huge benefit because many down payment assistance programs require you to be a first-time home buyer or have not owned a home within the past 36 months. This one doesn't. To give you an example, imagine you're purchasing a $400,000 home. 3.5% of that purchase price is $14,000. Saving $14,000 while paying today's cost of living can take years. Receiving assistance that size can dramatically reduce the time it takes to become a homeowner, all while you're still building equity. Another important feature is a forgivable grant and not a second mortgage. The grant, which covers the down payment, is forgiven after 6 months of on-time payments. This makes qualifying much easier than with other loan programs like Hometown Heroes here in Florida. It's designed specifically to remove barriers to homeownership for people who serve their communities and protect the American dream. Now, every program has guidelines. Availability depends on eligibility requirements, including but not limited to credit, meeting income requirements unless you're an active or retired first responder, service member, healthcare professional, civil servant, or teacher, asset verification, and all other applicable terms. This program is also not available in Washington state. Remember, it's always important to discuss your individual situation with a mortgage lender, such as myself, before assuming any program fits your circumstances. Another thing I want to mention about this program is it does include the military, but in my opinion, this program is just not as good as a standard VA loan is. In some niche scenarios, like one where you've exhausted your VA entitlement after buying multiple properties, this could be a good option for you, but in most cases, I think the VA loan itself is a better option. Now let's talk about another incredible opportunity available specifically in Florida, the Hometown Heroes program. This program is one of the state's flagship homeownership assistance programs for essential workers. If you're a first responder working in Florida, this program is definitely the one you've heard of the most. Its goal is straightforward, to help essential workers who serve their communities purchase homes in the communities where they work. Eligible professionals generally include firefighters, law enforcement officers, correctional officers, EMS personnel, teachers, healthcare workers, military members, veterans, childcare employees, and many other occupations designated by the state. It offers substantial down payment and closing cost assistance through a second mortgage. Depending on current program guidelines, eligible borrowers may receive assistance of 5% of the purchase price up to a maximum of $35,000, subject to funding availability and annual program updates. Now, unlike the Firehouse, Blue Line, and all the other loan programs I mentioned before, Florida Hometown Heroes Assistance is structured as a second mortgage with favorable repayment terms. It covers 5% of the purchase price in down payment and closing costs up to $35,000 as of the time I'm writing this video. In many situations, repayment is deferred while you continue to occupy the property as your primary residence. This is what we refer to as a silent second mortgage in the industry. You only pay it back if you sell the house, refinance the loan, or move out. It's important to note that the exact terms depend on the current program rules in effect at the time that you apply. Another thing that sets this program apart from the grant programs I mentioned before is that Florida Hometown Heroes funding is limited. When Florida allocates money for the program, those funds are available only until they run out, and they tend to run out relatively fast. What this means for you is that timing matters. Many borrowers wait too long and discover that available funding has already been reserved. That's why it's important to get pre-approved early rather than waiting until you've already found your dream home. Another advantage is that Hometown Heroes can often be paired with FHA, conventional, USDA, or VA financing, depending on eligibility and current program guidelines. For first responders who qualify, that combination can dramatically reduce the amount of money needed to purchase a home. It's best to compare these two programs because they solve similar problems in different ways. The Firehouse Home Loan provides a grant designed to help cover the down payment without creating a traditional second mortgage obligation, whereas Florida Hometown Heroes provides down payment and closing cost assistance through a state-sponsored program with its own eligibility requirements and second mortgage repayment structure. Both programs exist because policymakers recognize something important. The people protecting our communities should have a realistic opportunity to own homes within those communities. Now, I'm going to cover what lenders actually evaluate when you're trying to buy a home. It comes down to four major categories. Income, can you reasonably afford the monthly payment? Credit, have you paid your bills on time in the past? Assets, do you have enough money for the down payment and closing costs that aren't covered by the program if you're using one, and reserve requirements when they're applicable? And finally, employment, do you have stable, qualifying income? Notice what's missing from that list. Your professional loan doesn't automatically qualify you. Being a firefighter or a police officer doesn't guarantee the underwriter is going to approve your loan. Instead, specialized programs simply create additional opportunities for otherwise qualified borrowers. That's why speaking with a lender like me early on in the process is so valuable. I can review dozens of different loan options and discuss these options with you rather than have you go about your day assuming there's only one path to homeownership. You also don't need perfect credit either. Different loan programs have different minimum credit requirements. Improving your credit score can absolutely expand your options and potentially lower your interest rate, but many successful home buyers purchase homes without having an 800 credit score. Generally, to get a higher credit score, you want to make sure you pay your bills on time, keep a low balance on your credit cards and other open lines, and have a good mix of credit such as credit cards, personal loans, auto loans, and mortgages. The same applies for income as well. You don't necessarily need to earn six figures. Qualification depends on the relationship between your income and your total debt. including the new mortgage and the taxes, insurance, assessments, and so on that come with the purchase of that home. This is what us lenders refer to as your debt-to-income ratio. A lender can calculate this during your pre-approval so you know exactly where you stand. Before I wrap up for today, here are a few tips specifically for first responders. Avoid opening new credit cards before purchasing a home and making large purchases on your credit card or with cash. Avoid financing a new vehicle during the mortgage process. Please continue making every payment on time. Save whatever additional funds you can, even if you plan to use down payment assistance. The more money you have saved up, the better. And respond quickly when I ask you for documents. I don't want to close late or lose the house because you took a week to send me your bank statements or something crazy like that. Most importantly of all, get pre-approved before you start shopping. There's nothing more frustrating than falling in love with the house only to discover later that you don't qualify or if it doesn't fit in your budget. Getting pre-approved first early eliminates much of that uncertainty. Now let's talk about other loan programs. The VA loan is exclusive to eligible active duty service members, veterans, and those weekend warriors over at the National Guard and the reserves. You have to meet certain guidelines, such as certain service length and characteristic requirements, in order to be eligible. The VA loan allows you to buy a house with no down payment and is far superior to any of the other loan programs provided here. There's no down payment required, no mortgage insurance, and no loan limit either. The rates are better than most loan programs out there that are a lot more flexible in matters such as credit. As a veteran, I used to do exclusively VA loans before I branched out into helping first responders, and it is by far the best loan program out there for you, the buyer. Don't let anyone else tell you otherwise, and if they do, give them my number. The physician loan is another cool loan program exclusive to physicians that hold certain designations. These also do not require down payment for the most part, do not have mortgage insurance, have way higher loan limits than FHA or conventional loans, and can even exclude some student loans under certain circumstances. It's great for doctors who just started their career, have a lot of student debt from a decade of going to school, and can even be used if you're a resident or a fellow. If you're a first responder who's been putting off buying a home because you assumed you needed a massive down payment or perfect finances, I hope this video showed you that there are more options available than most people realize. Programs like the Firehouse Home Loan and Florida Hometown Heroes were created specifically because the people who serve their communities deserve meaningful opportunities to build wealth through home ownership. The exact program that's best for you will depend on your finances, your location, and current program availability, but the first step is always the same. Find out what you qualify for. Remember, you fought for the American dream. Now is your time to start living it. If you want to learn more about these options, click the link in the description of this video to book a free mortgage consultation with me so I can set aside some time where we can discuss your mortgage options in detail. If you found this video helpful, consider subscribing for more videos covering mortgage programs, down payment assistance, home buying strategies, and financial education specifically designed for first responders, veterans, healthcare professionals, teachers, and other everyday heroes. Once again, I'm your host, Matthew Ayala, U.S. Navy veteran and mortgage broker at Full House Financial. Have a great day, and may God hold you in the palm of his hands.